That's the research about the marketplace. Let me just get a sense of this room. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. These are really simple questions. You will answer them in a mutually exclusive way. This is a graph that shows the passage of time. This is where we are now. This is where you are now. So, compared to now, in the future, who wants to earn more money or less money? These are mutually exclusive. I want to earn the same is not an option, okay? So for the purposes of this exercise, your hand goes up for one of the two. So first half of the options, less money please in the future, Steve. I'm making so much, I would rather earn less. So the mutually exclusive alternative, more money please. So everybody wants to earn more money. No surprise, no shame in that whatsoever, especially given some research we'll show you in a minute. Second question, compared to now, who in the future wants to work longer hours and put in more effort? Actually, no, let me ask you a different question first. In the future, who would like the business of accountancy, the practice you run, to be more emotionally rewarding, more satisfying, give you more pleasure, more delight, whatever your word is? Or who gets so much pleasure out of it that you'd like to turn the volume down a bit and get less in the future? So less pleasure, enjoyment, satisfaction, whatever your word is. Less, more. Some of us can't decide. It's a hard concept, actually, enjoying the business of accountancy. I'll use the word fun as a shorthand, but it's whichever word, satisfaction. Emotional reward. So we want to be more financially rewarded as accountants, we want to be more emotionally rewarded. Okay, in the context of achieving those two things at the same time, who would prefer to achieve those things at the same time as having the option to put in less effort, have a better work-life balance, work fewer hours? That's one option. Effort less effort. Or who actually would really masochistically like to put in even more hours in order to generate those results? So who's in the, I want to work harder to get those results, Steve? Mutually exclusive alternative, I want to work less hard, or at least have the option of a different work-life balance and spending more time on hobbies and kids and so on and so on and so forth. Okay. So what we have is a future, or rather what you want is a future that is really rather different from the current, isn't it? What you're doing today is getting you this combination of results. Your strategies, your pricing policies, your client acquisition, your marketing, and all the other things that you have within your business are getting you this combination. Not the one you want, but this combination. Is it reasonable to assume that in the face of global economic meltdown and competition from abroad and push of a button accounts and people in India that can do the work at £8-9 an hour, and soon, by the way, instead of just being your subcontractor, will be directly taking work and offering services directly to owner-managed businesses in the UK at 8 to 10 quid an hour, 24 hours a day service. Is it reasonable to assume that in that kind of context, somehow, magically, without you changing anything, without you changing your behaviour, your strategy, your actions, is it reasonable to assume that you'll somehow magically get from there to there, all by itself? Or is the only reasonable, logical, sensible, professional conclusion that we have to draw is, if we really do want to make that transition from where we are to where we want to be, something has to change, and we have to change it. We can't rely on the Institute or anybody else. It's no one else's responsibility and it's no one else's fault. It's entirely ours. This better future is there for the taking. The book, for example, and the stage today and the letters in the pack are full of other firms that have made that journey and getting that better future. But it's because they took action. It's completely unreasonable to assume that magically we'll get from there to there. In fact, what will happen if we don't change in the face of all those competitive threats and economic meltdown and so on and so forth, the future's going to be worse on every single one of those levels. You're going to have to work harder for less money, facing more and more price competition. And it's going to be less and less enjoyable. The exact opposite of what you want. Now, you took immediate effective action for 10 quid, every single person in this room. Actually, what's at stake in the future is all of this, and this adds up to life. The money, the emotional, your frame of mind, and the amount of you that's left over at the end of the week to spend on your family, your health, with your kids, on your relationships, that adds up to life. And the choice over whether to get a better life or just to settle for the one that's thrown at you is a choice. The question is not whether you can do these things, the only question is whether you will. So let's look at what you can do.